Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only tell you what's going on in the gun world, but we also discuss how we're going to fix it together. The content that we're going to cover for tonight's episode is all about two separate cities in New York deciding to sue the exact same gun companies for the exact same problem within a day of each other. I'm sure there was no collusion. This was not pre-planned. This is just coincidence. Of course, it was all those things. Everything we linked in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear you guys on this one. Now, if you are new, we need as many people as we can to consider hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and getting in the trenches with us. We need as many people as we can to count as family and friends so we can pass the blessing of the Second Amendment along to the next generation. Thank you so much in advance for that consideration, but now let's dive into exactly what's going on after a word from our sponsor, Core Essentials. Now, Core Essentials is offering you a specific type of belt, and I'm going to be honest, I've had them, I'm wearing them right now, and they are time-tested. They're extremely good products, but I'm going to show you what they want you to know about them, and then we're going to get it. Now, Core makes the best fitting, most comfortable, secure gun belt you will ever wear. A hidden track with over 40 size positions that you can adjust on the move, the result is a perfect fit. The Stiff Power Core Center provides total support for your firearm and keeps it completely secure. Made with the best quality materials and warranted for a year, I can honestly throw my own confidence behind these products. Thank you so much to Core for sponsoring this content. And now, there's a link in the description, but let's get to what's happening in New York. Again, all by coincidence. What do we always say on this channel? Look at the why. Nothing happens in a vacuum. This is orchestrated. Let's hit it. City of Buffalo sues gun manufacturers, calling them a threat to public health in lawsuit. Okay, well, that came out yesterday, but oddly enough, City of Rochester suing gun manufacturers. Again, everything's linked in the description box below. What are the odds that two different cities in New York suing under the exact same premise within a day of each other for the exact same punitive damage? What are the odds of that happening by itself? Almost nil, especially when Letitia James and all the ilk in New York are doing the exact same thing. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Let me show you what they're up to because, again, nothing happens by chance. CNN. The city of Buffalo, New York filed a lawsuit against several gun manufacturers and distributors Tuesday, alleging they fueled violence in the city by making or providing thousands of firearms recovered in crimes committed in the city of Buffalo and New York State. Now, I'm going to say the elephant in the room, and I'm going to point to it a whole bunch here. New York is one of the most stringent gun control regimes in the entire United States. They go back and forth between New Jersey, California, and New York about who's the best in gun control. It's like their thing. If you need something to campaign on, just put forward a gun control bill. They'll always pass. Anyway, here's what's going on. In a city, in a state, multiple cities across the same state, all gun control cities and states are having a problem with gun violence. So instead of introspectively looking at maybe it's their policies, maybe it's the policing, maybe it's the population, maybe it's the demographics, maybe it's age, maybe it's anything. No. It's guns. Even though guns are exactly the same distribution in all states across the United States. The outlier is the gun control zone, but we can't talk about that. We got to sue the gun manufacturers. Check this out. It does not take a genius to figure out what's going on here. The suit filed in the Erie County branch of New York Supreme Court alleges firearm companies like Smith & Wesson, Beretta, Remington, Glock, and Bushmaster. Ooh, Bushmaster. Does that ring any bells? We'll get to that in a second. As well as what the lawsuit terms, quote, ghost gun companies, including Armor Ally and Polymer 80, contributed to a condition, quote, that endangers the safety and health of the public of the city. Again, how is that possible? Going back to that elephant in a gun control zone. It's not possible. Wait until you actually see the next quote from the actual mayor, and it blows the entire thing apart. And I quote, members of our community have suffered too much and for too long from gun violence. Buffalo Mayor Byron W. Brown said at the news conference Tuesday, quote, we must do everything we can to decrease gun violence. Enabling the possession of illegal guns destroys lives and deeply affects our neighborhoods, especially in black and brown communities. Enabling the possession of illegal guns destroys lives and deeply affects our neighborhoods and communities. If it's an illegal gun, how is that the manufacturer's fault? So your premise here is because your laws aren't working, because the population is at each other's throats, and you're suffering, as you would say. The solution is quite simply to the fact that guns exist and manufacturers are responsible and liable. Even though, going back to my earlier point, Guns are present across all 50 states with different rates of all different crimes across the board. Again, if it was the guns, you would see a homogenized result across all states. It is clearly not the gun because there are different rates of homicide. There are different rates of demographics. There are different rates of violence across the board in different states and regions of the United States. If it was as simple as the fact that guns exist is the problem, it would be much clearer in data, but it's not. This is very similar to the way they go after assault weapons, even though they are the least common denominator in gun violence across the United States. Handguns outweigh anything else in homicides by thousands of shots. This is incredibly important to understand. They're grasping at straws, not to mention the fact that a federal law called the PLCAA prevents this very thing from occurring. Now, the state of New York and all these cities is going after public nuisance laws and public safety laws. Again, a company is not responsible for someone breaking the law. The fact that a gun even goes into New York would be an illegal activity. That's not Smith & Wesson's fault. That's not Springfield's fault. That's not Ruger's fault. That's no one's fault except the criminal. But if you take a look at the criminal and not the gun, then you open up a whole can of worms about different things about the nature of our hearts and our minds in this country. But let's keep going. I got two more things for you. The city is seeking that's a tough one for me for some reason. Compensatory and punitive damages from the defendants, including money for an abatement fund with sufficient capital to eliminate the public nuisance they are responsible for creating, exacerbating, and/or perpetrating, the lawsuit states. They're laying it squarely at the feet of gun manufacturers and gun distributors. It's not individuals making the wrong choices. No, it's the fact that guns exist. Again, not to mention that the rates are going up and down over time. Again, that doesn't matter. It's about the guns existing. This is about getting money from an existing lawsuit where Bushmaster was involved, which I mentioned, in Sandy Hook settlement. It's almost like when you open up that door that the roaches come out when you hit all the flashlights. Just saying. They smell money, and they're going after money. They're going to try anything that they can. They're going to go public nuisance. They're going to do whatever they possibly can. But make no mistake, this is about money for these states and the added bonus of gun control through manufactured dilutement. That's the best way to say it. And here's the statement from Bushmaster. Quote, "We have not had a chance to review the allegations in full at this time, but upon first blush, the verified allegations against Bushmaster Firearm Industries, Inc. are false." Gun manufacturer Bushmaster said in a statement, quote, "Our counsel is currently reviewing the complaint and evaluating a path forward to address both this lawsuit and the potential libelous claims made against Bushmaster Firearms Incorporated." It's about time, Bushmaster. It's about time, gun manufacturers. If someone is claiming you're responsible for something and there is no way to prove it, and there's no direct tie factually to your doorstep, yes, sue them for libel, sue them for slander. Let's turn this a little bit backwards because the days of them having a free reign because, they're just emotional are over. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments field below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.